Hey, look at this thing in Psalm 23. You've heard this verse a million times. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, for thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Recently I've been really stumbling across a lot of verses that talk about people in the valley of the shadow of death. Here's a guy who's walking through it. This impressed me because this contrasts with this thing in Luke chapter 1. Luke chapter 1. The name Luke means bringer of light. So when he wrote this gospel, that was part of what his ministry on the earth was to do, was to record this stuff. John the Baptist's father is prophesying over his own son, and he's talking about the Messiah, and he says, through the tender mercy of our God, whereby the day spring from on high hath visited us. Day spring is a very poetic King James way of saying the sunrise or the dawn. Through the tender mercy of our God, whereby the day spring or sunrise from on high hath visited us, to give light to them that sit in darkness. There's the contrast. That Psalm 23 guy was walking through the valley of darkness and the shadow of death. Here's a guy that's sitting here to give light to them that sit in darkness, in the shadow of death, to guide our feet into the way of peace. If your feet are being guided into the way of peace, it means you're not sitting anymore. Check this out in Isaiah 60. Arise and shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. And then goes on, talks about the darkness. I got a bunch of verses. This is a word that's been kind of shut up in my bones. I got to let it out here on Christmas Eve. Micah 7, 8, 9. This is about a guy sitting in darkness. It says the Lord will be his light. This amazing story in 2 Kings of the lepers who were sitting, and they said, if we keep sitting here, we're going to die of starvation. And they made a decision. They said, let us arise. Look at this. John 1, to make clear who the light is. John chapter 1, it's just in the first few verses the word light is mentioned 6 times, referring to the Messiah, Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's my word. We don't have to stay stuck. There is a light that can guide our feet into the way of peace. Merry Christmas.